Hey, um, people are subscribing. Cool. Thank you so much. This is, I guess, the first intro video. This is my truck. It's been 3 years. One of the reasons why I'm kind of getting my YouTube channel up and running again is because now I actually have time to start documenting what I'm doing. Also, big issue with Facebook, or not Facebook, but PhotoBucket really screwing up the world as far as forums go and all the wealth of information. I had a number of threads going. I had my very old truck build, this whole truck build on Pirate 4x4, and I hosted all my photos on PhotoBucket, and then they turn around and you can't third party host for unless you're paying like a ridiculous amount of money per month, which is stupid. So I never want that to happen again. That was one of the reasons why I want to start documenting my builds and everything going forward. And also just because I genuinely find it super fun. I like looking back and seeing the progress of my builds, and I think it's super helpful for people to see videos of how things are done. I probably don't do them the official super right way, but for anyone watching, I assume that you're kind of, like me. I'm not in trades. This is just all stuff that I learned when I was in college and too poor to pay anyone else to do it. And then I've just stayed cheap ever since. I think it's kind of in the Toyota guy's blood to be able to do stuff on your own, and you save money doing that so that you can spend it on parts. I think that's just kind of how we roll. And I wish that there were videos for me when I was getting started. One of the things that I remember was my very first time I was fabricating, and I was trying to do a Chevy rear leaf swap on a frame. It was a bare frame that I was planning on doing a frame swap with, and I was in my parents' backyard. I had this bare frame, and I went to a hardware store to buy a grinder, and I told them what I was doing, and they gave me a grinding stone, like this super thick, like probably over a 1/4 inch grinding stone, to cut off my rear hangers. And I gouged the frame so bad. I was such a noob. But had I actually just seen a video instead of someone just typing like, hey, yeah, use a cutoff wheel to cut your rear hangers off, if I saw the video, I would have actually been able to comprehend what was going on. So I think video is just way better for showing people how to do things. I think when you're new to kind of fabricating or working on a truck or anything like that, you don't know any of the terminology, and so a video kind of helps people see what people are talking about and fill in the gaps if the knowledge isn't quite there. Not that I'm like some person that knows a lot. I've just built a lot of stuff, and I'll be sharing that, and hopefully it helps someone. Hopefully some wheeling videos soon. I got some stuff to do on my truck. But this started out as a 91 two-wheel drive pickup. Two-wheel drive because it has the higher front frame rails. And my goal was to build a truck on 40s that sat really low but had a good amount of up travel and was on coilovers. So I had to do coilovers to accomplish that. And I'm super excited. I haven't wheeled it. I've been on one camping trip, which was literally down the highway to a paid camping ground with my 4-year-old son, and back. That's when I found out I had some pretty massive air problems with my high pressure power steering pump, which I got to get sorted out. That's kind of priority number one. Tonight I'll be taking this off. I'm going to show you what I did here to combine my turn signal and my daytime running lights into one spot. You'll notice I don't have turn signals anywhere on my bumper, so it's less stuff to break. And I designed the whole plan on this truck over my last truck. I had an EXO on the first truck that I built, which to me is just dumb, because all that ever happens is you end up getting branches stuck between your EXO, and it ends up beating up your fenders and your body anyways, and then your EXO is on, so you can't take the fenders off to replace it. And the whole point of an EXO, in my opinion, one is to save space inside the cab, but also to protect the body if you're streeting the truck, like if you're driving it on the road and it needs to be street legal. You want it, clean looking, and you don't want it all caved in. Although the tin can look is awesome, I love it. Sometimes the police don't. So my goal is to have a truck that I can kind of transform and take the fenders off, throw tube doors on, and go wheel the hard trails, trailer it to the harder trails, or even just show up, pull everything, and then put everything back on really easily. So you'll see a little bit of that today as I take off that fender. You'll see the insides, and let's just get into it. You know what? I was gonna time lapse you, but I'm not. Might be boring to watch, but you give me someone to talk to, and I can edit this all out later if I want to, or speed it up. I'm just thinking there's a few things that I'm gonna want to show you, because as I'm doing this, I'm just gonna think about kind of the little things that I wish I knew, like stupid questions that people probably never ask. Like how to take off the marker lights. I would never ask that, I would never post, and you probably aren't gonna find anything online about it. So it's just these two screws, but the mystery comes after that. Because you take off those two screws, and if you've never done this before, then this is kind of stuck on here, and you're always afraid of breaking stuff, especially when you're new to doing this. Like you always cross thread things. Like that's just part of learning how to do something. And what ends up happening is you get really paranoid that you're gonna break stuff. So there's two plugs in here, and you gotta reef on this like decently to pop them out. Like really decently. Let's see here. And like I might even get a flathead screwdriver in there. There we go. So sounded like it broke, but there's these two plugs. Bring you in right here. There's these two plugs that go into these two holes here, and you just gotta pop them out, and then you just push that back in. So what you'll notice here is I have a turn signal daytime running light combo, and I'll probably do a write-up on this. If you go check out my Instagram, I have a few pictures of how I did that, but that would actually be a pretty cool video, I think, for you guys. And you'll notice that I have just the removable plugs. Probably not the best plugs to have, but I don't know, someone can comment if there are awesomer plugs to get that would work better for this. But the reason why I have these plugs is so that I can disconnect these, and I'll mark these at some point, but so I can take these off and then pull the fenders and put it in beast mode essentially. So I made it super easy and super quick to pull these to pull everything, so that if I'm wheeling a hard trail that I know that there'll be body damage on, then I can pull all this and know that I can just throw my fenders back on and make the police happy if I'm driving home. Okay, another thing, there's a little trick I like to do. 1 second here, I'll speed it up. With my drill and my electric impact, these make quick work of this little stuff. So I just got a little bit here and my trusty 10 mil, and just speeds up life. Then in here, there's two fenders, two bolts under here that I just leave off. But to get at this, you gotta open that up. Open up the door. And then there's one bolt right here. So that's off. The reason why I'm taking this fender off is because when I was cutting the inner fender, which you'll see here in a moment, I nipped the wiring harness, and so I lost daytime running light. Turn signal's fine, but I lost the daytime running light. So I'm just putting this stuff to the side here, and here. This is how she looks. So we'll call this beast mode. That's my tube work on the inner fender, and I'm not sure if you can see that, but that's how it looks. And then you'll see that I tied in to my shock tower in here so that I could avoid this super ugly ass cowl bar. Sometimes people cut back in behind here to run the cowl bar right across and hide it, which is a whole lot of work that I didn't want to do. So this is what it looks like with the fenders off, and it actually looks cooler from far. It looks pretty square from the angle that you're at now. At least I think it's cool. I'm kind of biased, but that's it. Okay, so somewhere in here, there you can see where I nicked. So I'll pull apart this harness, and I just gotta find that where I nicked and solder it back up. So I'll pull all that out. But in here you can also see I clearanced. Like if you actually go look at your truck or any stock truck, it actually comes down like this, and then up here. So you can see how far forward I moved it, and I also got a clearance here. So when I was wheeling, I went camping and I flexed it out just to test some stuff. My tires rub here, so full crank and turn, or full crank and stuff, it's rubbing here. So I'm just gonna seriously lop this off here and just plate it with 1/4 inch flat bar, and just give me a lot more clearance, and it should be perfect. And then I welded up. It was kind of my first body work, I guess you could say, but I kind of put an inner panel and just made it clean, keep the mud out, and keep it police friendly. Okay, so there you have it. You'll notice my sweet 3-inch wheel spacers. Those are because I was a moron when I got really excited to swap my tires onto rims and ordered my rims up, and I got a 5-inch back spacing, which is stupid. Just one of those bonehead moves where you get really excited and you buy something, and it's something that like isn't easy to return once it's all mounted and balanced, and yeah, that sucked. So in order to not have to buy all new rims again, I bought in a trade I got these 3-inch wheel spacers, which I know suck, but they're gonna have to do until I buy some bead locks with like a 3-inch, 3.5-inch back spacing. Very, very important tip. Always check the little things. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but where you have like a big deal, some issue, some problem, and you're like really pissed off and like bummed that it's gonna be a whole ton of work. So let me show you. I just double checked some things before I drained my power steering fluid. Yeah, check this out. You see this alternator belt? You see this alternator fan belt that is ridiculously loose? You know that screeching sound that I thought was something funky going on with my power steering pump? Yes. Yes. That means that all I have to do is build my little protector thing for my ram, and then a basic alignment. And then I picked up this metal today, just 1/8 2x2 angle. The reason for that is because I'm gonna put that angle iron right here and just weld it in a few places, so I kind of have like a beating surface for it. So leaning into rocks and everything, pointy rocks and stuff would cave that in if I'm pivoting around them. So I just want to have something like that I get a little more wear and tear out of it. So super freaking stoked on that. That means I'm up and running way faster than expected, which is cool. Hopefully you didn't unsubscribe after this video. Don't worry, I'm not gonna talk as much in all these, but that's just kind of what I'm up to, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to subscribe, and please comment below, tell me what you want to see. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I can try to answer them in my way. Again, this is all just what I think, in my opinion, and based on what I've done in the past. Definitely not a professional opinion. I'm just a garage guy. This is my house, my garage, and I think that's where a lot of people end up doing this hobby. So stay tuned, lots more cool stuff. I have some really cool ideas of things I think you guys will like, and feel free to spread the word if you think this is worth subscribing to your friends and anyone that might be interested. Leave your comments below, and we'll get to it.